Involving HR, this isn't really my story, but it could be yours, because it's the story of all HR professionals who've ever had that wonderful call from a hiring manager to say, we have found the perfect person to join the team, and they're available to start on Monday. Now, they are on the other side of the world, so if you could just do the necessary, thanks very much. And in preparing for today, I spoke to a few of you, and it really is remarkable just how often HR only seem to find out about these hires after the event. The role's agreed, the candidates are on board with it, the champagne corks are already popping, and then someone remembers the small matter of asking HR to set it all up legally in a foreign country. And of course, it doesn't have to be a new hire. It could be that contractor that's been with the business for such a long time that everybody thinks they're already an employee anyway. Or perhaps a business that's made an acquisition overseas and inherited a small team in a country where they've never operated before. Or maybe an existing employee has asked to relocate abroad and somebody in the company said, yes, of course you can carry on working for us, without really understanding what it is they've committed to. Different scenarios, same outcome. HR left to make it all compliant and operational, often by Monday morning. Now, to most people, this would bring on a full-blown meltdown. But of course, you're not most people. You're HR and you're made of sterner stuff. You're the ones that colleagues can turn to when the impossible needs doing. And so you roll up your sleeves and begin your heroic quest. First, the small matter of creating an entity, something that can often take a very long time. Fortunately, you keep a time machine in the stationery cupboard and simply travel 6 months into the past to get things started. Easy. But of course, you also needed a nominee director. Luckily, all HR professionals are well connected and you have a suitably qualified auntie just waiting in the wings. But to create the entity in the first place, you needed a registered office address. So you conjure up a charming 6th floor suite, complete with all the right fire exits, recycling bins, and even a pot plant, because hey, if a job's worth doing, it's worth doing well. Next, the bank account. This requires a director to present themselves in a branch on the other side of the world. You generously lend them your time machine, and another problem is solved. Now to the employment contract. Dual language, compliant with local laws, and drafted overnight. It's a good job you all speak 17 languages and are familiar with every employment law ever written. And who could forget data protection? You quickly rewrite the policies to cover GDPR, local variations, using all the right jargon, all while most of us are still considering what to have for breakfast. Just as you're congratulating yourself, the hiring manager calls back to say, we've promised them private healthcare, 4 times on the life insurance, and a pension. Is that okay? Well, of course it's okay. Your contact list is thicker than a phone book, and 2 calls later, all the benefits are in place. Now to payroll. Taxes, social security, compliant local reporting. Using your supernatural eye for detail, you divine the requirements of the local tax office, inconveniently written in what looks like 14th century Latin. Turning to your trusty AI assistant, you generate a full cost breakdown, share it with the CFO, get the budgets approved, and still have time to set up a payroll partner who will pay accurately, on time, and in the right currency. Talking of which, it's a good job you also moonlight as a foreign exchange trader, juggling currencies with the dexterity of a Wall Street banker, because the CFO doesn't want to lose out on currency fluctuations. And finally, because you really are thorough, you memorize the entire local public holiday calendar, which seems to contain 74 saints' days that nobody outside the country has ever even heard of. And so, using your mastery of international law, multiple languages, time travel, superhuman diplomacy, foreign exchange wizardry, and most of all, sheer bloody determination, the employee is indeed ready to start on Monday morning. But just in case there are any of you here today who feel you might be missing just 1 or 2 of those superpowers, you could always use an employer of record to step in and do this for you. Our magic is in managing HR, payroll and benefits all around the world, and it's already set up and ready to go.